This story I'm about to tell you, I remember it so well, almost as if it just happened yesterday. After my first semester as a freshman at Gallaudet University, I went home to New York for the summer. I spent the whole month of June looking for jobs, but the problem was there were so many students just like myself searching for jobs during the summer. So it was a really frustrating experience. Every time I would walk into an office, for instance, once I would try to ask if they were hiring, they would all tell me, no, sorry, no openings. But one day in particular, I remember reading in the morning paper that there was help wanted for a dishwasher. When I read the ad, I thought, fine, I could be a dishwasher. I need money and I've been looking for a long time. So I arrived at the place. Stated in the ad, and I was the first person to arrive. So as I was waiting, for a long time, and then finally someone came to see me. It was a man with black framed glasses, and I gave him my resume and he looked it over. So then he started speaking to me, but I had to stop him and explain to him that I was deaf. So once I tried to pause him and explain that I was deaf, he responded with an O, and he directed me towards a door. So once we went through the door closed behind me and he left, and it was a hallway. At the end of the hallway there was an elevator, so I got on the elevator and I couldn't believe that that man just brushed me off like that without even letting me explain that I was completely qualified. As the elevator went down, I felt really depressed and disheartened. Why couldn't he just let me explain? I'm a good worker, and you don't need to hear to be a dishwasher. So I had all these minds in my head, and I left the building, and there were so many people, and it was scorching outside. People were just running past me and pushing me around without any thought, and I just thought maybe I would give up. Because life is always full of experiences similar to this one. But instead I realized that I had to make the change for myself. So I turned around. I started writing on a piece of paper for the boss. I went right back into the place, and the woman tried to stop me and say, "Excuse me," but I just went right past her and I showed it to the boss, and it was a letter, and he tried to get me to leave without even looking, and I told him that I would not leave until he read the letter. So he opened the note, and in the letter, basically I explained that I was a student. I was home for the summer for college. You need a dishwasher, and as you can see, I have 2 hands, which is what a dishwasher needs. After he read it, he told me to have a seat, and we sat down. He asked me if I could read lips, and I gestured that I could a little bit, so we figured out a way of communication to happen between both of us. I will never forget that day. It was I'll never forget the first day at work. It was beautiful outside and there was trees everywhere that just looked wonderful. And I went to work scrubbing each dish, and I will admit I hate washing dishes, but I have to. That's a part of life. So after a month of working very hard, there was one day where they needed a volunteer to do something outside of dishwashing. So I volunteered, and I was very excited to be a part of the group, and we started shoveling. We would shovel the dirt and put it on a big mound, and we were digging a hole. We were digging a hole. As I was digging the hole, my hand started to hurt terribly, and I looked at it and there were splinters all through my hand, but I just had to work through it and suffer through it because it's a job. And until lunch we continued working. We all found a tree to sit down under and relax. We were all so tired. So after we ate, we found a tree to take a short nap under. The next thing I remember, I woke up and I was alone. Everyone had already gone back to work, and I felt so terrible because I was late. So I ran back, and once I arrived, I could already see the people I work with making fun of me and seeming irritated. At first I wanted to just turn around and leave, but then I thought, I'll just have to continue on. It's best to just continue working. I can't just walk out on the job. So I went back to shoveling and digging, and the pile was just getting higher and higher, and we were just adding more. The weather was changing and it looked like it was about to rain, so we all said, hurry, hurry, to avoid all the dirt and mud getting on us. So we continued to work even faster, and we were working like crazy. After a while, everyone started getting let go. It was just me and another guy working. It was just the two of us working towards the end of it, and we were trying to trying to shovel a big hole, and we just kept trying to go faster and faster. And as we were doing that, water and wind was just getting everywhere into our lungs. I was coughing. It was a terrible experience, and it was just flying in my face, all the debris. And I could see that person who was picking on me earlier, and they were just so happy. There was a moment where I thought I couldn't possibly continue, and I should give up. And then he switched places with me. And then the guy I was working with switched places with me. So it felt really refreshing, to get air in my lungs without all of the debris. At one point, all of the debris was completely surrounding us, and I felt as if I was surrounded. Once we finished, it was just downpouring, and I was so weak after working so hard. I just laid down and allowed the rain to fall all over my body. And for a moment, I fell asleep. Once I woke up, I had to wipe off the rain from my face, and I could see one of the guys I was working with under a valance smoking a cigarette. And then I felt his arm on my shoulder. And when he did that, it was like it was a nice gesture where I felt as if he said, "Good job." And I walked away feeling accomplished.